Blessed love, royal family. Give thanks for your presence with us this evening. We definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, definitely welcoming you to the Tiger's Nest. This is Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Of course, you know, priestisaacinstitute.com, priestisaacinstitute.com. We are streaming throughout the international community right now, Facebook, Instagram, whatever have you. We are on the YouTube. So, of course, just letting you know that we are streaming from Radio Anu. And for those who are going to join us on Radio Anu, the link is in all the descriptions. You just press it and you are here with us, Radio Anu. This evening, we will be continuing the discussion that we started previous evening right here on Radio Anu as it relates to the full moon. But right about now, we're going to connect it to the King of Kings. In fact, there is that reasoning that you hear, you know, speaking about portals being open in July after the full moon. We're going to be getting into some of that. We're going to be speaking about exactly what is taking place in the heavens at this time, so you could get a good understanding of where we are. So family, I want you to humbly sit in, prepare yourself. We're going to go deep this evening. Remember, this is the Tiger's Nest, a program that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on Radio Anu, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. If you want to be a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, it is an easy thing to do. Just email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, and we'll definitely give you that link. Definitely. So family, just sit in, and I have some good words for you. I'm going to be telling you some important information as the family is coming in, as it relates to our universal summer camp. Rastafari. Give thanks. Tiger's Nest is in full effect. Blessed love. Let me ask you, family, what's the age of your child or children? Do they attend public school and will be on summer break until September? Well, whatever the age or circumstance, we at the Priest Isaac Institute of Holistic Knowledge have great news for you. We will be conducting an online Universal Summer School Camp from Monday, mark the date, Monday the 7th of August to Friday the 25th day of August. Your child or children, no matter the age, will be engaged in various online activities that are enough fun, entertaining, and education. Outside of African history, astronomy, biology, and mathematics, which we will be doing, of course, your child or children will learn how to prepare a healthy meal with your supervision, for sure. They will learn the basics of the African language, Swahili, even how to start and conduct their own business. Hold on, there's more. Online yoga classes for the youth, field trips to sacred spaces, plus many guest speakers and teachers will join us throughout the Universal Summer School Camp. Enroll your young ones today. If they are up to it, they might even be a special guest co-host on a radio program on Radio Anu. Many people will be listening. Now listen to this. If you are currently or were previously a part of our international homeschool program, you pay nothing to be a part of the Universal Summer School Camp. In fact, if you enroll your young ones into our international homeschool program, that is our international homeschool program, a separate program all by itself. That is months worth of daily classes on different subject areas for your young ones. If you enroll your young ones in our international homeschool program before the 1st of August, your child or children will partake of the summer school camp free, of course. So family, what are we waiting for? This will definitely be a benefit for your youths. It will keep them occupied, plus we promise you convenience as it relates to your time. Do it for them. They will love it. We also have prizes available to be gained, tablets, books, etc. for the outstanding youths. There will even be a special tour of the Prime Minister's office here in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda. This is going to be a wonderful summer school camp, universal. So family, you know what to do. For more information, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com. That's priestisaacinstitute.com, or give us an email, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Give thanks. Of course, give thanks once again, blessed love, and of course, we are thankful for such information. Of course, family, for those of you, who are definitely with us via Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Of course, you are already on the website, and you definitely will get all the information that is right there for you. Now, previous program, that is what they call last night, previous night. It can't be the last night. Look, tonight is another night, isn't it? So how could previous night be the last night? All right, that is why Rasses used to say, well, first night. Yeah, but anyway, we were speaking about the full moon. In fact, when we were on air, the full moon came to its climax. You know that. So what I'm saying here, those of you who remember the program, I'm not going to go over the whole program as such, but I think you could recall that the real theme of the program was the reading of your chart during this time. And for those of you who were not there and who were absent, and remember, once you are a subscriber to the program, you'll never miss another edition of the Tiger's Nest again. So it's just a simple thing. Just email us and say, I would like to subscribe. So if you missed the program like you would have missed it previous night, you're going to have it in your inbox via the email. And what we did, we visited some astrological sites. And basically, you could say we got the reading for the full moon previous month, which the full moon was said to have been in the constellation previous month of Sagittarius. But now it is in Sagittarius at this moment as it was, but we were told last night, previous night, the moon was in the constellation of Capricorn. Good. Just getting the stats correct there. Now, what we did, we read again, like some up-to-date readings, like the reading for Capricorn when the moon is full in Capricorn. So most astrologers, in fact, all astrologers really, would have been kicking this sort of knowledge for yesterday, because we were told that the moon, the full moon, was in Capricorn last night, previous night, the first night. But I'm saying now, as an ancient astronomer, that the moon was visible in the constellation of Sagittarius. I will repeat just quickly that not because we express these sky apps like stellarium, etc., although I am telling you that they are precise, down to the satellites you see moving across the sky, right on time. But it is not the apps that we depend on. We utilize the apps to bring up to speed those who may not be as versed in the reading of the heavens. But it is our own two eyes that we take and see where the moon is. It is no mistake. And we understand, hear this level now, we comprehend the geometry of the heavens. So in other words, not because the sun or the moon may not be in a specific constellation doesn't mean it is not the governing space of the constellation. But it should be, once it's the governing space of the constellation. For example, if you're in the season of Cancer then, in the zodiac track, the sun, because remember, the whole season lasts for a month. So the sun should be clearly coming out of the previous constellation, which would be Gemini, and going on its way to that very said constellation, Cancer as they call it, Keprara, to fulfill the zodiac sign of that constellation. But that is not what it is now, because that clock, as we said the previous night, astrology is a clock that has stuck. No disrespect. Astronomy is the astronomical clock, movements of the heavens. That's what you would see. And this is why I must encourage ones to take part of our ancient astronomy program. Of course, again, you visit the website and check courses out. You would have seen samples of our ancient astronomy course. In fact, I think I would have to revisit that one of these days so one could comprehend the quality of information and even the presentation. You know, and it's not me boasting. It's not, I was not even the one that would have done the detail works of the graphics. So don't think, oh, he's always patting himself on the back. No, please. Don't. I'm just telling you the reality that it's a very well refined product. I'm being very straight. You go online and do courses and compare it to what we have put together. I'm telling you, it's of top class. Plus the information is precise. So within the ancient astronomy course, even what I would have just explained is something that we detail in our teachings and of course the study for our scholars as far as understanding the astronomical clock and the age that we are in, coming out of and going into, etc., and exactly at what time, because we understand the geometry of the heavens and we utilize it in this expression here. So it's not as if we just like to come and jump and razzle dazzle and think we're trying to say something and astrologers wrong. No, and we always have to preface our reasoning with letting ones understand that we value the concept that astrology keeps up, the concept that we value the understanding, meaning that human beings are connected to these heavenly goodies, heavenly bodies, as they would say. Human beings are connected to stars and quasars and blazars and sun and moons, and not just your moon, but other moons. And the plants connected to the same, and the plants connected to you, and minerals and onyx and gold and whatever have you. Was that beautiful lapis lapis lazuli? I can't even get it off my tongue properly, but you know what I'm talking about. We all remember all of these precious metals are literally inside of us. That's why people take liquid silver, and that's why people take in liquid this and liquid that to kind of revive it within themselves. But the goodie naturally produces it. If you eat the right thing, That's why you study these things. You study the plants, study the planets. You know, you follow King Emmanuel order, you drink your allahs regularly. You may be recovering the silver naturally within you. You may not know. He may know, but you may not know. You know what I'm saying? You know. So I'm just showing to us, even as a family, how important it is to comprehend the astronomical movement at the right time. Astrology speaks of what I just kind of prefaced, you know. That's what astrology is about. That's why they tell you at this time of the year, and when the moon is here, there, and on your birthday, and if you were born here and there and today, you know, you should be thinking of things more ambitiously, or you should be a bit more laid back, or this is the time to collaborate with friends, or this is the time to think on your own, or this is the time to work on a new project, or this is the time to reinforce something you would have started 10 years ago. Nothing wrong with that. There is a reality within the whole philosophy and concept that, you know, these energies are around us, and they do shift, just like how the wind shift, vibration shift, Rasta. And just like how the bird flies with the wind, if you understand how the wind is moving, you can glide on it the proper way and utilize the wave of the time. So if the wave of the time is attack, or the wave of the time is stand down, because you comprehend that, you can act more correctly. You get it. So that's why people contact astrologers and stargazers and these people, you know, so that they, and crystal ball readers, and so that they could tell them, yeah, man, this is the time for you to do this. When were you born? Oh, yes, 5 and 3 is 8, and 8 is this and that, and all of these different things. Everybody have their little method how they get their answers. To me, sometimes I wonder, but anyway. So now, just keeping all of that in mind, I hope you comprehend what I'm saying. Eh? Good. Keeping all of that in mind, again, just to return to previous night, last night, and we get into the Haile Selassie Earth there. Obviously, this is the tiger's nest. We read what the astrologers said about the full moon previous month, which is what? The second of June it was. So the full moon, the previous full moon was the 2nd of June. That's so-called last month. And the full moon was said to have been in Sagittarius, which it wasn't. It wasn't in Sagittarius. It was in Capricorn. Not Capricorn, pardon me, Scorpio. Now the full moon last night, previous night, that was in Sagittarius. Check me good, eh? And they were saying that it was in Capricorn. Why do you keep this conversation, priest? I'm tired of hearing you speak about that. Let's speak about something more important. Man, there's war taking place in Sudan. And that you sound like you don't listen to the Serengeti on a weekday morning, as they call it on radio, and where we cover all aspects of international events. This is important, eh? So when we read what was said about the full moon in Capricorn, the words that at least we got from the few that we found was that, and we got some what they call reputable online sites dealing with astrology. This is the time to be somewhat, to pace yourself. This is what the readings was giving us, and I'm somewhat paraphrasing, but you could recall from previous night. Pace yourself. So this is about the reading of the full moon. Listen to me, good family. The full moon that is in Capricorn. Pace yourself. You know? If you're going to, this is the time to plant. They were speaking about that. Not plant food in the garden, but your ideas, your passions, your desires. And the reader was actually explaining that don't mind if it takes a while to manifest. You listening to me? I kid you not. We did the program previous night. And they were saying so even if it just, and they made a comparison with a fruit tree. So even if it takes 2, 3, 5, 10 years to bear fruit, it's okay. Just be patient. Prudence and patience were the key words that the astrologers were using for the full moon when it's in Capricorn. Now, that may be so. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, as they say. Yeah, let's just say that is so. That when the moon is in Capricorn, all of what you just said there, a certain level of patience must be concentrated on. You must come to grips that, okay, we're going to start this new project now, planting this new seed, and we will humble ourselves patiently for whenever it is going to, find its fruition. Let's say that is so. But the moon was not in Capricorn. The moon was in Sagittarius. So when we read now, last month's reading, when they said the moon was in Sagittarius, but it was in Scorpio, but they said it was in Sagittarius. They said when a full moon is in Sagittarius, listen to this now. It is like you become the arrow that is in Sagittarius. It speaks several things, but I'm kind of homing in on some key points. And this arrow is supposed to go through life, at least at this time, not thinking of the end result, not thinking of the target, but because Sagittarius represents a wanderer, a traveler, a teacher, he that seeks truth. That means, and this goes for everyone new, that means that this time when the moon is full in Sagittarius, as the arrow passing through life, you're supposed to be thinking about everything that is in front of you. Make sure you pick up as much knowledge as you can. Make sure you pick up as much information as you can. Make sure you pick up as much opportunity as you can. Don't think about the end result. They stress that. That's when the moon is full in Sagittarius. Now that is different than when the moon is full in Capricorn. Capricorn is much more laid back, according to their readings. I'm learning from them, I'm telling you. Capricorn is much more laid back. Capricorn is a lot of patience. Don't worry. In fact, Capricorn literally sets the time frame. They plant it and say, hey, if it takes 5 months, 6 months. But Sagittarius somewhat wipes that away. Sagittarius, according to them, on the full moon, is like the spur of the moment. It is as if opportunities are arising, and now is not the time to sit back. Now is the time to attack the opportunity as soon as they come. That's the full moon in Sagittarius. Thanks to the God of gods. So the reading that we got for previous night's full moon was the wrong reading. The reading for previous night full moon, last night full moon, was supposed to be the reading for last month's full moon. Meaning that, because astrology is off. That it's off, definitely, at least that zodiac thing is off at least by 13, 14, 15 days. I'm telling you, I'm not asking you for sure. You know that. Tiger's nest, eh? And the reading that we would have received for yesterday, yesternight's moon, was that you're supposed to sit back and be patient. Why? Because the moon is in Capricorn. But suppose the moon was in Sagittarius. Oh, no, well, you can't sit back. You got to jump up and get going, and anything in your sight, grab it. Oh, You see? You see the difference? So even if, I know somebody just said, okay, finally get what you're trying to say now. I'm not trying to say it. You were trying to get it. You get it now. So even if the technique and the principle as such is correct, because the clock is slow, let me put it that way, in respect then. I wouldn't say it stopped, but it definitely behind time. Nothing worse than a slow clock in your house. It's better you have a fast clock. It's better your clock 5 minutes fast than it 5 minutes slow. It will lick you up every time. Especially if you're someone that's serious about your movements, you know. It's very good. Hey, give thanks for your presence with us, you know, family. You give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. I'm just keeping the joy, you know, and I'm just kind of giving a reminder of what we spoke about previous evening as it relates to the full moon. But I actually want to move on and go into, well, still the full moon, because again, the many of the astrologers and the moon readers, some who don't necessarily deal with the constellations, but ones are considering, pardon me, that this from hereafter portals are being opened, not just the moon portals, but because of certain activities that are taking place in the heavens, the portals will definitely be showing to open for certain spirits. All right, let's just get to it in depth. You know, we're not just talking fancy. We're going to explain exactly what we're saying. So I'm just giving thanks to the family that are with us on the YouTube and anywhere that is visual, and what we are doing this evening. We will be also just taking a look at the stellarium family so that we get a good understanding of what we want to show. Now, even to show, even at this moment, this is a stellarium wherein we have the exact location of where we are in the Eastern Caribbean. For those of you who understand how it works, let me take out the coordinate lines, and I'm going to take out a few things so we get a more pristine look as such. Oh yes, got a beautiful sky, and even take out the earthly plane. But when you see the earthly plane, what you notice is that the moon is just coming up. As I'm speaking to you now, the moon is just coming up. And as you can see, the moon is in Capricorn. And you may say, but Ras, you just said that the moon was not in Capricorn. Of course, and I'm not changing my thought. It was not in Capricorn. It's in Capricorn now, but it wasn't in Capricorn last night. And in fact, not only wasn't it in Capricorn, it was not even at the point as it relates to the degrees to say that it was coming out of Sagittarius. So Capricorn, yes, the moon is in Capricorn now, you know, but as I said, just one day ago as such, today is the 4th, it was the 3rd, it was snugged right in the Archer constellation. It was snugged right in the constellation known as Sagittarius. So the reading again would have that I gave you on Sagittarius would be the reading for that energy even of yesterday with the fullness of the moon. All right, anyway, what I wanted to do is to highlight, family, you know, we understand the science of Leo the Lion as it relates to the King of Kings. We understand the science of the movement of the heavens, the 23rd day of July, in the climax of the Pisces age. In the climax of the Pisces age, the 23rd day of July represents the beginning of the cycle of Leo. Very good. Now, I just want to, for those who are interested in the knowledge, give some idea of what is taking place in the heavens as it relates to the month of July and directly leading up to the earth strong of the King of Kings. Very important. All right. Now, you have certain things in the heavens that are outstanding. When you see the planets, right? When you see the planets conjunction with each other is seen in the heavens, it's always a marvelous sight. Sometimes these words, conjunction. All right, conjunction. All right, fair enough. Good. So what you have now, you have a mystic. Well, of course, Mercury is with the sun. But right now you have the conjunction taking place with Mars and Venus. Now, Mars and Venus, they are at a very mystic spot in the heavens. I'm sure you remember the program we did when we showed that Mars and Venus are actually playing a very, if you want to say, pivotal role in the mystics of the heavens this time around. We showed when Mars was in the hand of the feminine part of Gemini, and Venus was right there at the feet of the masculine part of Gemini, which is very symbolic of, man and woman and our rising. Very, very deep, because Mars represents male and Venus would represent female. So now I just want the family to pay attention to what we are showing for those of you who are viewing, and give thanks for the faithful that are on radio and know. So, of course, remember, you have the date, very easy to understand, date 2023. You have the month, the 7th, which is July, and of course, the 1st of July, just a few days ago, the 2nd of July, the 3rd of July, and right where we are at the 4th of July. So technically, although obviously they would have been close for some time, but yet still Mars and Venus, at this time, the 2nd of July specifically, I want you to listen to these numbers. At the 2nd of July, Venus passed within 3.33 degrees of Mars in the constellation of Leo. Now, if you go on any astronomical site, real astronomy, they will tell you what I just said. I'm not making up the number. 3.33 degrees. You could utilize the very same app we're using and figure it out. As you can see, you have your longitude and latitude there, your right ascension and declination there. And you could see the distance from the two planets from each other, at least from our apparent view. 3.33 degrees. But the point I'm making is that you can see for yourself that it is in the constellation of Leo. They are in the constellation of Leo. Remember, the planets have a different movement than even the moon, and for sure even the sun. They go into retrograde and these different things. Moon and sun don't go into retrograde. So they are where they are. Both astronomy, because astronomy would tell you where the stars, where the planets are as it relates to constellation. Astronomy, to some degree, recognize constellations, but not for the reasons that astrology recognize constellation. So astronomy, for the most part, would tell you really where the heavenly body is, unlike astrology with its own Merlin the magician and Archimedes old-time pie chart, so-called chart that they're using from some medieval dark ages period. You understand? The astrological charts that they use for your horoscope and your astromist guide, and this zodiac sign begin here and this zodiac sign begin there. That would be applicable 850 years ago, but not today. So yes, on the 2nd of July, you have a Venus pass within 3.33 degrees of Mars. And it is said that at that time, the magnitude of Venus was minus 4.5, and the magnitude of Mars was 1.7. And Mars is somewhat fading away now for those who are constantly looking at the heavens. All right. So again, observing the whole aspect. Remember, we're talking about coming towards the King of Kings, Earth strong. So this is a very mystic vibration. Now, some people have the nerve to refer to what we're doing here as stargazing. Shameful, really. When the Bible says the heavens declare, when the book of Amos talks about the belt of Orion and Arcturus and Pleiades, when even Andromeda, the Ethiopian queen, and of course even, Andromeda and Cassiopeia, yes, Andromeda, the princess, Cassiopeia, the queen, these are literal people that we even show you in the Ethiopian king's list that has been immortalized in the heavens. King Emmanuel himself say a man shall come that can read the star. So we have a mystic vibration as it relates to the year's first super moon, which is the 3rd of July. That's the moon we just went through, and that is why it's so important. And because now the reason why it's a super moon, because the moon occurs, the full moon occurs at the time of what you call the perigee. That is when it's close. You have the apogee and the perigee or perigee, depending on how you pronounce it. So the perigee is when it's closest to the earth. So it actually gives this impression as if it's like 30% brighter than it usually is. Now that is very, very important, when you understand the vibration of that. Now, let me show you, family, the movements of Venus and Mars for the next several days coming up until the 23rd and even thereafter. To me, is just the heavens in a mystic dance. Now listen, I know sometimes, and I like to bring this in. Some people like to get into the argument of, priest, this is impossible because the earth is flat and so and so. And I think, I am quite respectful of anybody and whatever they believe. But what I'm saying, just listen to me, flat earth people. Just listen to me. Listen. Let's not get ignorant. If you keep arguing my point here against this point, I will consider you very ignorant. Very ignorant. I don't care if the earth is flat, square, or whatever. What I am showing you here is what is happening above us. So if you feel Venus is a little light bulb and Mars is a shining, glowing marble, and them stars are dots painted on a ceiling, if you believe that, and the sun and the moon swinging around in a circle, even though they obviously rise and set, even though they obviously eclipse each other, but somehow that is your theory, that's whatever. But me and you and everybody else see the same thing. So whether it's flat, square, a long cylindrical shape, whatever it is, have a dome or you don't have a dome, and it's open space, or you can't pass the ozone layer, all your theory can go in the rubbish. Because when we all look up, what I am showing you is what's taking place. So let's work on that. Let's work on what we can see and clearly see. Yeah, the planet move. It's not a planet, it's a light bulb. Okay, well, the light bulb moves. The light bulb was here last week, and look, the light bulb gone over here this week. And we can literally detect the speed that the light bulb is moving. I mean, I know it ain't no light bulb. I'm just coming down to your level as such. Not maybe you, but you know who I'm talking to show you How much? Because we just trying to run from truth. Because we want to run from truth. We wouldn't even humble to just accept the obvious. That what I am expressing to you, whether you think they're painted on a wall, whatever, I am saying that in May, going into June, Venus and Mars, whatever you think they are, had a mystic connection with the constellation of Gemini, male and female, and the male with the female, and the female with the male. All right. Even if you're not into that, but it's obvious. They were paired up. Mars was paired with Tefnut, and Venus was paired with Shu, also known as Castor. And then as the days moved on, just watch them good, Mars and Venus. Mars literally slowed down. However he does that. Well, I mean, I know exactly what's happening though. It's just the heavens declaring. It's the movements of the Earth and the other planets on their orbit around the sun. But anyway, as it waited, it slowed down as such, pardon me, for Venus. It went through the beehive cluster. And then Venus came and went through the beehive cluster as well. We did programs on that. In fact, we went to Greencastle Hill and we utilized the telescopes and we saw Venus while it was in the beehive cluster. We came back and reported to you. And then now, as we follow along into June, going into the summer solstice, which was just several days ago, you see Venus and Mars coming right to the feet of Leo. So the summer solstice met Venus and Mars very close to each other now. It's as if Venus is going to run into Mars, and met Venus. Venus came to its closest point, basically right here in front of Leo. So this is why the 2nd of July, the 2nd of July, I'm just kind of giving more power to the point that I'm making. The 2nd of July was the day where Venus came closest to Mars, at least in this rotation here, 3.33 degrees in the constellation of Leo, according to not astrology, astronomy. And then now just watch what happens. This is so beautiful. That after a moment, now just watch as the days move on, and I would add, heading towards the King Earth Day, Mars totally enters the body as such of Leo. And Venus does one of them, as they would say, retrograde move. And Venus, for the King Earth Day, basically goes in retrograde. 23rd, just spin around. As you notice, Mars continues. Yes, Mercury and everything. Mercury is entering Leo for the King's Earth Day too. 22nd, 21st, 20th, you know, the 19th. Look at, you see, Mercury coming into the Leo for the King's Earth Day. So Mercury is in Leo for the King's Earth Day. Mars is in the center of Leo for the King's Earth Day. Venus is in Leo, you know, but has come in front of Regulus, which is that paw that is outstretched, and Venus goes into retrograde movement, motion as such, pardon me, for the King's Earth Day. In other words, Venus turn around. If you notice, as she touches this celestial longitude line, she goes no more, and she just turns around, and that happens exactly on the King's Earth Day, you know. So on the 23rd, look at it here, clear as crystal. And let me show you again. Of course, give thanks, you know, for your presence with us. Let me show you again. Just as you reverse it, you could see how they're working together with each other. So here they come, Venus and Mars. And let me repeat, remember, Venus and Mars are coming from a journey where they were accommodating Gemini, not just Castor and Pollux, these Greek fellas. Gemini is Tufnut, Shu and Tufnut. And he and she, by the way. And the masculine Mars, the Marshal, was basically in the hand of Tefnut, the woman. And the feminine Venus, which is also a god of war too, was at the feet of the masculine Shu, Castor. I hope you get that, because we did actually do a whole program on that, but just to refresh the mind. And then again, they move off, coming into June, and coming out of May, coming into June. But in May, you can't forget again, pardon me, at the end of May, Mars going through the Beehive cluster and Venus taking the same path and going through the Beehive cluster. Again, we would have observed that. And then, of course, the 21st, which is the summer solstice, which would have just passed. And a few days after that, which is 2 days ago, 3.33 degrees from each other. I know I'm going over the points, but repetition is the mother of teaching. We're not here just to entertain and not them kind of things. If you really want to learn something, this is the place. This is the place. If it's nourishment you want, then you don't like a good 2-round or 3-round or 12-round. This is the place. All right, fair enough, beautiful. And let me show you one more time. So we're in July. And again, today is the 4th, as they say, the 4th of July. The moon is in Capricorn tonight, but it wasn't there previous night. All right, very good. You see how the heavens is fluid. Flat, square, whatever it is, stars painted on the wall, and I know nothing goes up. But just to be who I am, just to show you can't get away from this. Because all the lights you say that's up there, you don't even know how the lights moving. But anyway, okay, don't worry, I digress. So, and then the important thing here is that, again, for the King Earth Day, Mars enters. You see where Mars touches Regulus? On the 9th day of the 7th month, the 7 and the 9. You see Mars touch Regulus, which is the brightest star in Leo. You hear Brother Vaughn sing about Regulus in one of those songs there. And then Venus now, again, Venus somewhat bids goodbye to Mars after their journey. Venus and Mars were together a while ago, They were the ones that set off the energy in the male and female, man and woman teams out there. Gemini, in the way that they entered into Gemini. And then when they came out, the both of them passed over the Beehive cluster. That's gathering an energy too. And then after that, they came to the closest point in this go around together, and it was 3.33 degrees. And then after that, it's as if Venus kissed goodbye to Mars, and Mars went deep into the interior of Leo, while Venus halted at the, right in front of Leo, and literally turn around and go back the other way, while she passed the sun that is entering into the Lion. The heavens declare, family, the glory. That's why you see me come and defend. I don't even defend myself. If I start to defend myself, people run, But you see, sometimes I have to say a few things to defend myself. Because to be honest, I don't even think anyone can really defend me. This ain't no joke shop. I know people like to just say, this is no joke shop here. This is serious spiritual science we're dealing with here. Honestly, if I want to understand it, I would just encourage you to be quiet. to me, sometimes you're sounding weird now. Just be quiet if you don't know what we're talking about. Try to learn this. You think it's a joke, a man shall come that can read the stars. Man, if we weren't so hypocritical, I wouldn't keep repeating it. But we're hypocrites. I tell you. Pardon me. A moment of bliss there. Yeah, but it's real. Think this is a game? Yeah, so you can see for yourself. Is this the God you believe in? Haile Selassie, the Lion of Judah, born on the 23rd July, and the beginning of Leo? A lot of us say that without clearly comprehending it. Well, look, we're showing you how it goes. Yeah, straight up. Now, on the 6th of July, you have the Earth will be at what they call aphelion, some say aphelion, but really what it has to do with the distance of the Earth from the sun. You have the parahelion, which is a very beautiful time, but the Earth has an annual orbit around the sun, and that's where it will take it from the furthest point from the very same sun. So the distance between the sun and the Earth will be about 3 million kilometers, according to scientists, of the distance that it usually is. So, and that is on the 6th of July. And then now on the 7th of July, you get a nice view when the moon is directly close to Saturn. So let me give you a quick look at that one there. And that again is the 7th of July. So what you can do for yourself, you can look out for these things, even in the heavens, even, in the mystics of the firmament. Sometimes you can study the moon and know when the moon is rising and when you can see it in the morning, etc., and follow it through the heavens. There are times when it is passing close to Jupiter, passing close to Saturn. So in this time, as I said, we're looking at the 7th of July when the 2-7 clash. The 7th of July, the 2-7 clash, you would see the moon itself very close to the star, the planet of Saturn. Very good. You see the beautiful Saturn there in the constellation of Aquarius. So between the 6th going into the 7th officially, because of course, midnight, bam, yes, you see the moon right there with Saturn. But at the same time, by the end of the day, the moon done gone, leave Saturn, as the moon is basically the swiftest object in the heavens. So you'd have to catch it, at that time. You would more see that just before you look for them in the night sky, and they will rise up about midnight. At that time, about midnight, both of them will come up together, and you could see that beauty as well, or royal family. Now, as I said, now this is very important, because according to astronomers, and as I said, we are kind of looking into this whole vibes of these portals that are supposed to be open. Now, any portals being open, obviously, the heavens must declare the glory. Now, on the 12th of July or thereabouts, we're supposed to look in the eastern pre-dawn sky to behold a beauty which is referred to as a star cluster. And this is just more than the star clusters. It's a mixture of a few things. So you would have, at this time, the moon, of course, in her speed, will be traversing between planets and constellations, of course. So you have the moon again, you would have Uranus, you would have Jupiter, and here it is, very important, you have the Pleiades constellations. So as simple as these are, again, the moon, Jupiter, and Uranus, plus the Pleiades constellations, as simple as they are in that motion, that is going to create a very beautiful, beautiful spectacle in what is considered the pre-dawn sky. So I'm just somewhat showing this to those of you who may be, interested in literally seeing these things for yourself, so you could observe for yourself the spectacle in the heavens. Because the Pleiades now, even again, the book of Amos speaks about the Pleiades, the sweet smell of Pleiades, which is considered as the seven sisters. The seven sisters are definitely important. Now, before I see it up here, I want to show the family one thing very important. Now, when you're using this app, you just press this button here and it takes you to the exact time that we're in. Bam. This is where we are now, the time, everything, time, date, everything. Once you press this button, it brings you back to reality. No matter where you go, 2023, go 2020, this 2020, whenever, and then I change to 2039, I've gone to, what's this, the 9th month, I've gone to 27th day, I just press this, and I come right back to home. Boom. Good. Whatever the time is, exact time. The sun is in the middle of Gemini right now, family. And it's there with Mercury. Right now, the sun is at the center of Gemini. That's real powers. Now, if we were in, again, the apex of the, what you may call it, the apex of the Pisces age, that's where the sun would have been on the 21st day of June. Now, it's not the sun that is shifting, it's the constellations that are shifting. So when it's the Aquarius age, when we reach to the apex of the Aquarius age, it's not necessarily that the sun is going to be in Taurus for the 21st day of June, is that Taurus would have replaced Gemini as being the most northern constellation in the ecliptic belt. So Taurus now would cover that 23.5-degree line to the north, which is the borderline for the sun in its northern movement. I'm sure you comprehend what I'm saying. Gemini is still there, but Gemini is drifting off of it. Good. So that is why on the 21st day of June, the sun itself was very close to Gemini. But it's definitely out of Taurus. 21st day of June, which is considered the day when Gemini, the sun should be in Gemini at that time, because that is the beginning of summer. And then after that, it goes into, after the 21st of June, the 22nd begins Cancer. So even now I'm speaking to you, the 4th of July, we are supposedly already in the zodiac sign of Cancer. I'm saying that is not so, because the sun has not proven itself yet to be out of Gemini, or beginning to come out of Gemini, to start to give credence to the energy of Cancer. It's deep, trust me. But as I said, this is why we come and we do these programs. So on the 21st day of June, the sun again, let me just show you this quickly since I'm here. The sun again was not directly in the center of Gemini. But if we were to go, let's just say 1,000 years ago, on the 21st day of June, you see, the sun is in Gemini. In fact, I should have gone, let's say 800 years ago. Let's say 500 years ago. Look at that. So now 500 years ago, 1523, on the 21st day of June, you have the sun basically smack in the middle of Gemini. This time is closer to the apex of the Pisces age. This is the time a lot of your horoscope would be well in order, 500 or so years ago. In fact, but to be more precise, I would give it a little more like 7 to be directly on target. That's what I'm showing the family. So right now, we are from 1523, we are in 2023. As the movements is somewhat different now because the heavenly clock, the sun is moving 1 degree every 72 years. Beautiful. So again, when we observe now, bam, the sun is between Castor and Pollux with Mercury. Now, I would repeat, this is where the sun should be. Let me take these lines out. This is where the sun should be on the summer solstice if we are in the apex of the Pisces age. But since we are coming out of the Pisces age, going into the Aquarius age, and the whole astronomical clock is moving, that is why today, which is past the summer solstice, that is why today, which is supposed to be at least 8, 9, no, more than 9, man. Today's supposed to be at least 11 days gone into the sign of Cancer. So that means the sun should not be nowhere in Gemini. Not 11 days going into Cancer. The first day of Cancer, the sun would be coming out of Gemini. Let me show you what the first day of Cancer would look like. Anything around here would be considered the first day of Cancer, because that's how you ratified a sign for the age. So in other words, if it's the beginning of Cancer, that means the sun must be on its way out of the previous constellation, Gemini. And at the end of Cancer, the sun will be in Cancer. That's really how it's supposed to be. Now, nothing is wrong, but astrology, again, has to keep up with astronomy. And the dates of your so-called zodiac chart would have to change. It cannot always be the 21st to the 21st. We have stuck to the 21st and the 22nd, and these dates, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, for the beginning of Sagittarius, for the beginning of Scorpio, for the beginning of Leo, for the beginning of this, and for the beginning of that. No, again, 700 years ago, that may have worked, but you have to have some key mathematics that changes with the movements of the heavens. Good. And this is for those, again, who consider this important. And I'm showing you, ones are talking about portals. I would repeat in closing, portals that are being opened from this full moon here, going up until the 23rd day of July. That's what they say. That is what the astrologers are saying. 23rd of July, that is what they are saying. Now, who has more authority as it relates to discussing anything about the 23rd day of July more than Rastafari? And these are astrologers speaking. So Rastafari that deals with astrological matters should have something to say. If we are dealing with portals that are opening, that's carrying us from the full moon all the way to the 23rd day of July. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's what the bald head man say. So, but he not saying Haile Selassie. So he take I and I to come and really put it together. So this is beyond gazing at stars. This is serious geometry, serious mathematics, family, as it relates to the heavens, declaring the glory of God. And we just came off the 30th of June, pardon me, and came to some heavy vibes as it relates to the King of Kings breaking the back of the League of Nations. Check this out. Blessed love, my family. We here at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge are available to come to your town or city to give lectures, workshops, seminars, etc. If your organization is conducting an event and you desire us to speak, teach, or provide any of our services virtually, this is also possible. To get more information and to book us today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. And we will see you soon. All right, give thanks continually again for such word sound, and give thanks for such information, keeping you in formation even at this time. Beautiful, my family. So I'm sure that, ones would have received a good understanding, good comprehension of what we are bringing forward to you. What's going on here? Just making sure everything is in order. Okay, perfect, beautiful. The King of Kings, Give thanks again with good understanding of exactly what we are bringing forward. So this is why I'm saying, most of us, that listen to the Tiger's Nest, we are spiritually grounded people. You wouldn't be listening. Of course, we touch different areas and different subjects. But if you are into at least your history, there's some spirituality that is around you. Some may be more deeper into the spiritual subjects and concepts and philosophies and African culture, drumming, Orisha, Loas, and some people may be into meditation and crystals and stars and planets and alignments and music and meditation. There are different levels in this, Some might be more religious, some might be more dogmatic, some might be more just truth seekers, and some might be more, I wouldn't say debate in a bad way, but some people do have an energy where they like to fact find and then compare it to what you know. That's just the spirit. So there are many different levels within the arena here. And we are very thankful for those who are understanding and can comprehend that and come to learn and come to sup and come to take in words of truth. That's why we gather together and even bring other ones on our platform so we can look at this from many different diverse ways. So I'm saying now, there are many of you who, without me coming and speaking on the subject, have a direct love and connection and passion for the heavens. Am I correct? Of course I am. Many of you read your, as I said, your astro guide and your star this and your star that. Some of you even contact your own personal astrologer. You have a monthly plan. Some of you have a yearly plan. Good. I'm not here to burst their bubble, but because it is a craft that is rooted in ancient Africa, European thing, understanding the heavens. We've done our research. Because it's a craft that does have a certain amount of power. And again, millions of people lean on this. It's like a religion. And even though, to be honest, when I look around, it's as if me alone be saying, no, the moon is not in that star, planet, constellation, it's over here. But it's okay. It's all right. Because with something that has such power, family, somebody has to say, well, okay, that's good, but you got the reading off because you're putting the wrong oil in the engine. Let's put it that way. It needs oil, but not that oil. That oil is good, but for another engine. That reading is good, but that's last month's reading you're giving me. Yes, because we are well up to date with the astronomical clock. Thanks to the YouTube family. Give thanks to the Facebook Radio Adam family. Of course, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history,